It's more than just sketchy. It's an impressionist painting. Welcome to Dirt, Sweat, and Gears and the sandbox of box cars and trucks. We are here out in the wasteland with a couple of new acquisitions. And before we get into this, I promise you it's going to be good. We have to do more of a general update. In this video, we have a garage update, we have a ADU update, and obviously a fleet update. As I mentioned in my last video, I lost somebody very important to me. I lost my Uncle Doug Mertz. I know that there's nothing that I'm going to say that's really going to do justice to the person that Doug Mertz was, but considering the profound impact he has had on my passion for motor vehicles and on the impact that he is going to have on this channel and on my garage, I need to try. My Uncle Doug was a huge inspiration to me, and always has been, because of how creative he was. He was a restoration mechanic. He could fabricate things that no one ever thought possible. And he did amazing works of art. And as a restoration mechanic, he worked on some amazing projects like best of show Pebble Beach quality cars that he worked on. So he was, without a doubt, a master restoration mechanic. But he was also an incredibly creative person. After my dad had passed away, I wanted to see Doug a lot more. And it was, at first, because he and my dad were basically best friends when they were teenagers. Now, that turned into me just really wanting to be around this incredibly creative person because of all of the things that we would talk about. You see, not only did he have this truck, but he had like 14 other cars in his yard, and he had a story to tell about each and every one of them, and that made them all very special. There's a whole lot that I could say about my Uncle Doug, but not only am I not even scratching the surface about who he was, but really want to keep this relevant to the channel. We want to keep this relevant to the cars. Since my uncle has passed away, I have been working very hard with my family to resolve his affairs. You see, my cousin isn't really into cars, isn't really into mechanics, and he had all of these tools, all of these cars left behind that have value. And it's my responsibility, along with the rest of our families, to make sure that my uncle's stuff is handled appropriately in a way that benefits my cousin. So that's why I haven't been making videos for you guys. That's why I have been slow to edit, slow to work, because I've been doing a lot of work just off camera, doing other things. Family comes first, you know? But before I start crying in front of you guys, let me go pick up the camera and we're gonna walk and talk, because I've got huge updates for you guys that I cannot wait to share. Well, since I had the camera up here on the scaffolding, let's go take a look at the stucco, because this scaffolding won't be around for very much longer, and that is because the stucco guys are really making great progress. You see, on this wall we've got the scratch and brown coat done, and we actually have it done all the way around. And I have gone up onto the eaves, well, just below the eaves, to go paint them, give them a little bit of touch-up before the final coat is done. So the scratch and brown coat is done on this side, but today is really exciting because they have done the final color coat on this north wall here. It's a little lighter than I thought, but against the white it looks great, and it's gonna really help with the heat, because this building gets a lot of sun in the summer, especially on days like today when it is about 107 degrees. The other thing to note here is just the quality of the workmanship here. These stucco guys are absolutely incredible. This building is freaking straight as an arrow. It just looks so good. And then we've got our little expansion joint here to help keep this thing from cracking over time. It's just a beautiful building, and I'm really excited to see it done. So now let's move on into the garage, because there's a lot going on over there as well. So I'm gonna have to do the best I can with the light here, because we got plastic over the door. so that the color coat stucco can go on later. But in here, you're not going to notice a lot has changed from this vantage point. However, one of the things that I'm got from my uncle is this giant, amazing welder. It was one of the things that we had talked about just before he passed away, in fact. He said that he wanted me to have his welder, and I told him, that sounds amazing, I'd love to have it, but I really wanted to have him show me how to use it. Because for one, I've never welded before in my life. I really want to learn, but also it would have been a really great way to spend time with him doing something that we're both passionate about. As you can see, for somebody who has never welded before, this is a lot of welder. So I believe it can do MIG, TIG, and stick welding. It looks like it can go all the way up to 440 volts. At least that's what Doug was saying. This is way more welder than I will probably ever use in my life, but if the question ever comes up, can I weld it? Well, the answer is yes. I will be able to, given the skills. You may notice here I don't have an argon tank, and that is because I could not get the regulator off of the tank that was at his house. We just didn't have the right size wrench, and I didn't want to risk transporting it because that's a $10,000 fine, and if something happens to the regulator, that thing turns into a missile. It's also really, really big, and it weighed about 150 pounds, so I opted to leave it behind. We got a little acetylene bottle here for other welding activities as well. Moving along to the shelving, nothing's really changed. I did get this table a while back from my contractor. This could be used as a welding table because it is all steel. But right now, it's nice to just be able to push it around and work on my projects. Now the Prelude, I am waiting on my rebuilder for the AC. There is a lot more work to do on this car than the other car because I had broken some things and they're fixing them. So stay tuned for that. I really wish I could have made more progress on this project, but like I said, families first. We've got workbench that hasn't changed. I bolted it into the wall really nicely so that there's like no racking whatsoever. I got a big giant vise, and along with all of the other work my contractor is doing, we are installing a mini split AC in the garage. I will have an air-conditioned garage, and on a day like today, I would be really grateful to have AC in the garage. It is freaking hot. And next up, let's talk about the elephant of a toolbox in the room. This is another thing that I got from my Uncle Doug, and I am just about to cry telling you this story because this is obviously a huge toolbox. This is just under 6 feet, so 56 inches. It is snap-on, genuine snap-on, not that BS rebadged Harbor Freight. And this used to belong to my uncle, along with this top case. So after my uncle had passed away, we had to have the difficult conversation about what to do with this stuff. And my cousin, not being a mechanical person by any means, she basically said, I don't know, so I trust you. She was telling me, my aunt, and my uncle Donald. My uncle Don, by the way, also a restoration mechanic, another legendary builder. I really do have some great influences in my life when it comes to cars, especially classic collectible cars. I obviously don't follow in their footsteps with my stupid Honda, but whatever. Anyway, I digress. We had talked about the cars, the welder. They all knew that he wanted me to have the welder because we had that conversation already. But the toolbox was a bit of a discussion because, well, my Uncle Don helped buy this thing for him back in the 90s when they bought it brand new. So he really did have a rightful claim to it. But he said something to me that I think it may just very well changed my life. He told me, I think you're going to do more with it than I can. And coming from somebody who has built cars that have won Best in Show at San Marino, at Pebble Beach, someone who is really top tier, legendary level mechanic in vehicle restorations, hearing that from him it's a lot. Obviously, that is huge praise coming from someone of his caliber. I am endlessly grateful. But at the same time, this means that I am now part of a legacy. And with that comes the challenge of earning it, of stepping up. And while I will never be the maker, the creative genius that my Uncle Doug was, I think I could make him proud, even still. He may have had this toolbox set up differently than me, that does not in any way erase his footprint. I've got some big shoes to fill, but I gotta tell you, I'm up to the challenge. This is something that I really enjoy. And I enjoy making videos for you guys and sharing all of the things that I'm learning along the way. Again, I'm an amateur, so I do very little how-to content. You're pretty much never going to see that from me. But this experience, this journey that I am on is amazing. So not only is this incredible because my uncle gets to be a part of my projects from now on, but the fact that my family believes in me enough to say, you deserve this. I want you to have this. I have never been more proud to be a part of this family. I have never been more humbled, more grateful. But now let's get back outside because it is very hot in here, and there is something that I really want to show you guys. Now, if you guys are wondering, my Uncle Doug is the same person that gave me this S10 about a year ago, and I do plan to fix this. In fact, it is next up on the list behind the Prelude and the Jeep. So the Jeep is still very much a work in progress, but once that's done, this will be the priority because this needs an engine, and I can use the Jeep to pull the trailer with an engine, and then I can fix this truck, and then I'll have a working truck. Speaking of trucks, I've also got these two amazing trucks from my uncle. This one is obviously very, very cool, and as you can see, it is mostly complete. So this is I believe a 1950 or a 48 Dodge. It has a straight 6 flathead, and it is very, very cool. As you can see, we're missing a few things here. We're just missing spark plugs and some wiring and a battery. And, well, something's going on with this alternator because I believe it should be a generator, and it doesn't quite line up, as you can see. It looks like the belt does not fit at all. So there's a little bit of a mystery here to be solved. So this truck is what I believe they called a truck-o-matic. It's really the same as a hydromatic or a gyromatic. It's one of Dodge's early automatic transmissions. But as you can see, we've got 3 pedals and a shift lever. So what happens is, with this hydromatic system, you can drive it like an automatic, meaning that you can stop and go, but you've got high and low. And in low, you've got first and second. In high, you've got third and fourth. So there is shifting for when you want to go fast or go slow. But once you're in one of those modes, you can drive this thing like an automatic. You don't have to touch the clutch or anything. But from what I understand, this slips out of gear really badly. So either something is wrong with the hydromatic system or it just has a worn clutch. Either way, I've read that it's kind of a pain in the butt to remove the transmission. You have to pull the transmission without pulling off the bell housing, then take out the clutch, then take off the bell housing. There's an order of operations that kind of sucks. But aside from that, all of the gauges appear to be here. I don't know if they function, I have no idea. We clearly have some wiring issues, and really it's complete. aside from the fact that it's disgusting in here, and, well, we need some upholstery. Underneath the truck, you can see this thing has been high-centered pretty badly. The fuel tank is, I don't know, not quite folded in half, but for all intents and purposes, the fuel tank is folded in half. And you can also see the jack stand has fallen beneath the back axle. Yeah, I should have been recording because the truck nearly crushed me. So I've got 3 jack stands underneath the front, I've got some wood, and we're just going to be very, 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 very careful when we put these wheels on, and be sure to not spend any time underneath this truck because it's sketchy. It's more than just sketchy, it's an impressionist painting. Moving around to the back of the truck, we've got some aftermarket bumper. This was clearly some kind of work truck to have a bumper like that. It hangs down way too low. Maybe, probably going to remove it or move it up, or I don't know. The bed is obviously roached. The wood is in terrible condition, but the rails that secure the wood down are all there. And over here, you can see we have an original hubcap. We've actually got hubcaps for this truck all the way around, and it looks really, really good. Cannot wait to put tires on this. And so I see myself fixing up this truck to be a survivor, because really that's the best thing that I can do with this. You see, it has just the right amount of patina. Nothing is completely rotted out, and it's really in a condition where it can be brought back to life, it can be used or taken to shows just the way it is. Or if you're really passionate, you buy this truck up and you restore it piece by piece. You can see that at one point it was green. So we've got a lot of green panels here underneath the white, or was it yellow? I'm told it was yellow. I see white, but whatever. But like I said, this thing, I just want to fix it up as it is. I don't want to restore it. I don't want to make it nice, per se, quote air quotes. I want to take this, make it run great, do the upholstery, fix the bed, and I think it's going to be perfect just the way it is. In terms of the story for this truck, I really don't know much about it. Doug really didn't talk much about this truck because I guess it was just something that he drove around for a little while. I know that he drove it around, and I found some pictures of it in his stuff, and it looked obviously much better than it does today. But I don't think too much was said about this truck that makes it special, other than just being a really special truck just all on its own. This truck, however, is a different story. Well, this is also a 48 to 53 Dodge. If you Dodge people know exactly what year this is, feel free to leave a comment. Tell me I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. I'm just going to get that out right now. So we have a Dodge truck, but something's a little bit different about it. If you are a Dodge aficionado, you may have already noticed a few things that are different about this truck. For one, we've got disc brakes. 2, we've got something going on with the gas tank over there. And that is all because this truck is actually very, very special. This was my Uncle Doug's daily driver for a number of years, and he had done some incredible work with this thing. Let's take a look underneath the hood real quick. We have a 1987 Dodge Dakota engine and frame underneath this body. You see, he had gone through the work to retrofit basically this whole truck. There's a few things that are missing, like windshield wipers, door handles. I don't know if he actually went through the work to retrofit the windshield wipers. Don't know that yet. But on the inside, we've got all of the Dodge Dakota stuff, but also the original Dodge truck stuff. So we've got a shifter in the floor. This is actually an automatic transmission, so this shifter just kind of looks cool. And you see we've got the Dakota pedals up there. And so we also have the HVAC system here, full air box with the heater core, and get this, guys, get this, we have air conditioning. This truck, this 1950 Dodge truck, has air conditioning, and I don't know about you, but I think that is the coolest freaking thing in the world. Another very cool thing he did, let's go over and take a look at these gauges. Over here on the driver's side, we have gauges that are retrofitted to fit in this truck. That, to me, is just the coolest freaking thing. Getting the original gauge cluster to work with the modern hardware, I think is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. This truck is highly customized. As you can imagine, it is also a complete basket case, but I'm no stranger to basket cases. I think this is very cool, and I cannot wait to get working on this truck. And then, of course, with the Dodge Dakota frame comes with the Dodge Dakota bed. Dodge Dakota bed is not here, as you can see. And from what I understand, this truck bed doesn't fit this frame. It comes up to about here or something. So the sides will need to be lengthened, or I just do a custom bed altogether. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet, but there's a whole lot of possibilities with this thing to not only be a very cool truck, but also a very useful truck. Because this at its core is actually just an 87 Dakota. It's nothing really all that special. The thing that makes it special is the cab. The thing that makes it special is the story behind this truck. You see, with the classic styling, which is definitely something I intend to preserve with this truck, comes an incredible story. You see, this truck, we call it the Pickle Truck. Now you're probably wondering, well, maybe it's called Pickle Truck because it's green. Well, it is green, but that's not why it's called the Pickle Truck. You see, when my uncle built this truck, my cousin was probably about 4, something like that. And he's driving this thing around as his daily driver, and he would say, "Come on, let's go in the pickup truck." And my cousin, being 4 years old, would say, "The Pickle Truck?" And ever since then, it's became known as the Pickle Truck. Now, if that isn't the cutest thing you've ever heard in the world, I don't know what to tell you, but this truck is just so cool. So in my research, one of the things that the 87 Dakota is known for is really good handling for a truck. Now, that's something that I definitely want to play on with this, but I want to try to do it with the old school styling. And that is, we've got hubcaps. I don't know if I necessarily want to do bias ply radial tires, but I'll consider it. Right now, we've got tires on some wheels just for the sake of getting this thing around. And so speaking of tires, you may notice that we've got some here. This is not the permanent solution. We've got some Hankook cheap regular old tires, and in fact the back rims are not even for the 50. These are Dakota rims. And of course there's a Studebaker. The Studebaker was originally my dad's. It sat at my grandpa's yard for decades. Then it sat in Doug's yard for a while, and it's been mine for about 10 years now. And I really got to do something with this thing because it is too cool to just sit around, and it does run. So we will be working on this. We just have some other priorities first. So now we got to do a little bit of work here in this video. It wouldn't be a proper Dirt, Sweat, and Gears video without work. What we want to do here is put these wheels on the pickle truck, and then we're going to use this strap, which is wrapped around a rock back there, to roll it this way. I don't think it'll be that hard now that we have wheels and tires that have air in them. And once we have the pickle truck moved, we have to put it back on blocks or on flat tires, probably flat tires. And then we've got to roll this truck back as far as it'll go so that hopefully the S10 will fit right in this spot. Oh, this looks so much better with air in the tires. I'm not going to put the hubcaps on because these wheels are going to come off again soonish anyway. And I'm probably not even going to get to work on the truck for a while. So I'm just going to toss the hubcaps into the cab so I don't lose them. But this is going to look great on the pickle truck because that's what's going to get these wheels. Next up, we need to strap this truck to something. I'm thinking I should strap it to the Studebaker since it's not on jack stands and I can easily block the tires off so that it won't come rolling forward. Well, I got it to where I want it to be. I don't want to get it too close to the other trucks just because it'll be too hard to get around back here, especially if I need to do anything to the Studebaker or the pickle truck. But right here is a good spot, and I mean, my God, let's just do a walk around of this thing because it looks so good. I mean, that is just a perfect stance for this truck. I hope I can get this thing on the road. I hope I can find this a good home someday very soon. Like I said, I have other priorities, so I can't work on it now, but oh, I am so excited. Now that we're done working on the trucks, let's go take one last look at the ADU before we sign off this video. I did record a walkthrough previously, but more work has been done since then. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that work, and then we're going to cut back up here now that the scaffolding is down. Let's take a look at the building because the building has come a long way in a very short amount of time. You see here, this is the final color coat. Stucco is done as of today, and really it looks amazing. Honestly, I would have been happier if I had gone with the color that the stucco is when it's wet. Like if I'd gone just that one shade darker, I think I would have been happier. But that said, it still looks great. And I'm not about to pay to have that color changed, whether it be with paint or with another color coat. It looks great. I'm totally happy with it, even though I probably would have been happier with my initial choice. Now that all the plastic is off, let's go inside because a lot of things have been done on the inside. So we, first of all, have a door. The door looks nice. It opens and closes great. There is a little bit of a crack here to fill, but I obviously really have to paint this door because it looks like crap. So I'll take care of that on my own time. There's nothing urgent about that. On the inside here, we have insulation, we have ceiling, we have holes cut for light fixtures. This is really starting to feel like a completed building. Oh, and by the way, we also have cabinets. So my contractor, he was working on another job. Somebody wanted to upgrade to a very high-end kitchen. So he took out these cabinets. There's nothing wrong with them, except for the sink cabinet has to be rebuilt, basically. Just basically everything behind the front needs to be redone. It's not a big deal, and he saved me a ton of money. So now I have enough cabinets for the corner wall here, and then all of the wall down to the end here. I still need to buy cabinets to build the kitchen island. However, that's perfectly fine because I really wanted to do a blue stained accent color on the island cabinetry, and this is already stained and finished, so it wouldn't really make sense for me to refinish those. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out. We have the range hood ready to go. The box is cut in and it's ready to mount up. And I think the next thing we're doing is an inspection. And once that's done, we blow insulation into the attic. We put up the rest of the drywall, and then it's off to me to do finishing work. We also are changing the color on the stairs now that we have a color on the stucco. Kind of forgot what color I chose. This color doesn't look bad. I think it is enough contrast, but I was really concerned with contrast. So I saw a meme on Facebook recently. It said, "Gee, I sure am glad I learned about parallelograms in high school. Sure comes in handy during parallelogram season." I gotta tell you, this is why you need to learn about parallelograms in high school, because Big Bad Bob did not learn about parallelograms, and this is what you get. Back of the building, front of the building. How do you screw it up this badly? Jesus. Pretty much any tradesman where you actually build something, you need to know about angles and geometry. So that meme is total horse shit. So now that we're back up in the ADU after more work has been done, and as you can see, we have drywall and it is very messy in here. So we had the inspection today also, and everything passed. We are good to do the skim coat and the tape and all that stuff. So that's going to happen very, very shortly. Probably tomorrow morning, they're going to be in here taping up. This building is coming along really, really fast, and I've got to make some decisions. I think I've already picked flooring. I've chosen, I believe I'm going to go with marmoleum granada pattern. In the bathroom, I'm not exactly sure yet, because I want to go with an Art Deco aesthetic in here. I love Art Deco. My mom does too, and my mom was the architect of this building. So we want to go Art Deco in here, but I have not yet chosen a specific tile. I have kind of a general idea of what to go with. I am a huge fan of checkerboard styling. I think it looks really cool, especially in a more industrial type of space. Given that this is a ADU that will be used as an office and it is above a garage, I really want to riff off of the industrial aesthetic as I'm building the stuff out. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm really sorry to come at you with some bad news, but we are going to make the best of it, and we are going to grow from this experience. And I am really, really looking forward to what the future has in store. And I am very, very grateful to my family for supporting me on this journey. And I'm thankful to you for watching this video. So if you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if you don't like what you see, keep it to yourself this time. Seriously. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.